It's not too late to go to university. Like you can still work in
He chose
sports.
to play football.
That's what I'm saying. You can still work in sports. Like if you go to uni, study sports science or something, or maybe that's even why it's going to Brighton. Maybe he wants to work with Roberto De Zerbi, one of the best coaches in the world right
Oh
now,
my
to
God.
learn the tactical aspect of the game.
This is Crossfire and my name is Jideiche. Ansu Fati has completed his move to Brighton. A loan move, of course, would not be there for long. But do you think it was a bad move? That is what we will be discussing on the show today. Yes, Tunde and Tosin here with me to dissect this topic as usual and discuss if Fatu's career is over or not. Let me start with Tosin on this one. Tosin, what do you think?
Ansu Fati's career has not gone down the drain. Let me explain it like this. Ansu Fati is a victim of a coach that is vindictive, a coach who does not know his value. So, because I've seen a lot of comments about Ansu Fati, he was supposed to be the heir to Lionel Messi, he inherited the number 10 shirt, and all of a sudden he's been shipped to Brighton. But there is a reason for that. Don't buy into the hype. Some of us know the history of Ansu Fati, and we'll give it to you. Ansu Fati burst on into the scene the 2018-2019 season, and he has been steadily progressing. But what happened is that he suffered some injuries. The potential is still there. He's still 20 years old. Don't let us act as if he's still 20 years old. This is not a Bojan Kekic issue. You understand? Whereby it's all hype and no talent. Ansu Fati has the talent. You understand? Just look at last season. Last season, in La Liga last season, who was our highest goal scorer? Robert Lewandowski, who we brought in for 60 million from Bayern Munich, even though we did not have money. At the end of the day, who was our second top scorer? It was Ansu Fati. Despite the fact he missed about 13 to 14 games last season due to injury, he was still the second top scorer. So the production is there. If you look at Ansu Fati's production with Barcelona, and you compare it to somebody, I don't want to call this lightly, someone similar to him, like let's say Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi had about 40. Baba, let me talk now.
Did I stop you?
This is Lionel Messi in his first about 110 games had about 41 goals and 15 assists. If you look at Ansu Fati's stats, he has about 33 goals and 12 assists. It's not, but it's similar. The production is there. So don't let us now say, okay, he's going on to Brighton. Some of us who are familiar with the issue know that there's a deep-rooted cause of vindictiveness from the coach, and that is why he's being shunted out.
I will come back to you, Tunde. What do you think of what Tosin's opinion on Ansu Fati's career? Do you think it was all hype for Ansu Fati?
Look, I don't want to be unfair to the young man. Like Tosin said, he's only 20 years old.
Yeah.
So
But
there's
we've also seen 20-year-olds
yeah, you can
go
be
down the
you
drain.
can be 20 and I don't know how to play football. Like if you like be young, if you don't know how to play football, your career is not ahead of you. Just what I would tell him that it's not too late to go to university. Like you can still work in sports.
He chose to play football.
That's what I'm saying. You can still work in sports. Like if you go to uni, study sports science or something, or maybe that's even why it's going to Brighton. Maybe he wants to work with Roberto De Zerbi, one of the best coaches in the world right now, to learn the tactical aspect of the game, so that he can start his career in a Nagelsmann type of way and be the youngest coach in Europe. If that's what he wants to do, fine. But if it's football that is going to Brighton, I assure him that it's not going to. Look, how do you leave Barcelona to go to Brighton's bench? Because it's not going to start at Brighton. It's not bench.
You really think so?
Ansu Fati is a left winger. Brighton have 3 of those. All the 3 are better than Ansu Fati.
Tosin compared Ansu Fati to Messi.
Tosin is also a mentally deranged person. So I don't know why we are taking his word for anything. I'm letting you know now. Ansu Fati is not benching Mitoma. This boy, this Paraguayan boy, Enciso, Ansu Fati is not benching him. He's injured right now, but when he comes back, Ansu Fati, they will remind him, you are used to furniture, you are used to carpentry, go back to the bench. There's this absolute monster, Simon Adingra, Ivorian, left winger as well, powerful, was on loan at USG last season, he's back in Brighton, he even scored in his very first game. There's no chance. So maybe in a EFL Cup game, maybe when they play against Bradford City, all those kind of, when they play against, all this the Lincoln City, all the Salford, Ansu Fati can come off the bench and, score 1 or 2 goals.
Tosin, You think Ansu Fati will thrive at Brighton? You talked about how he scored and assisted at Barcelona despite being injured. Do you feel we will be seeing a lot of goals from him this season? Or do you think perhaps this and that season an injury would be messing up Ansu Fati?
I'm actually glad that Ansu Fati made the push to go to the Premier League. And that is actually because it shows that he believes in his own talent. And here's the thing about Ansu Fati. All these Mitoma, all these frapapa players that you are calling, I don't know nobody, they've not done anything.
Who is the Barcelona that can bench Mitoma?
Mitoma.
Who is your starting left winger? Send him to Brighton. We sit on the bench.
Mitoma is not better than Ansu Fati. Fact. Okay. Mitoma has not played at the level at which Ansu Fati has played. That's the fact. Where is Mitoma's Champions League go?
Okay.
Ansu Fati came in silence the San Siro against Inter Milan.
You know where else also has the Champions League go? Callum Hudson-Odoi. Does that mean that we can put him in this?
Baba, please, we are talking about people that have a bright future. Please don't bring your generational curses from Chelsea.
Odoi is also only 21.
Let's talk about people that actually have a bright future. You look at Ansu Fati. He goes to the Premier League. What is the Premier League about? Pace, speed, and goals.
And fitness, that's why. Which he does not.
Baba, see.
So then I will come back to you.
Later, this guy will start talking pace, goals. That is what Ansu Fati has. Whenever he's fit, you understand, and he's able to get on the pitch and get consistent playing time, Ansu Fati will deliver the goals. Somebody that last season played about 23 games in La Liga and has 7 goals. You understand? He's not. You understand?
A goal every 3 games.
A goal every 3 games. Being used in a position he doesn't. He wants to play behind the striker. He wants to take on the responsibility through the middle, but he has been shunted out wide. So as a result, I feel that big things are going to come up for Ansu Fati in the Premier League, especially at Brighton under a manager like Roberto De Zerbi, and he'll be able to utilize him and bring out that thing that everyone saw when he was 16, and people will start singing Ansu Fati's praises again.
Singing Ansu Fati's praises. Tunde, let me ask you about people and the possibility of singing Ansu Fati's praises. You've already stated that Ansu Fati should leave football and go and do other things. But let me ask you, do you think if he actually had stayed back at Barcelona, it would have been perhaps a better season for him than having to come to Brighton?
Barcelona lost Dembele. Barcelona had forwards out injured. Xavi, you know what Xavi did? Xavi started with 4 midfielders. and put Ansu Fati on the bench. They call back Abde, that boy that now cannot even play. Now does not even deserve to go to university. Now cannot even play football. They called him back ahead of Ansu Fati. They called Ferran Torres, someone that has flopped at 2 different clubs, to give you that. Yes, I'm a certified flop. They still called him back ahead of Ansu Fati. Like, if Xavi, one of the greatest football minds, looks at you and says you are not better than a 5th choice attacker in this team, and even that 5th choice you have to fight for the 5th choice, and then I don't know if I give you the option of listening to Xavi, an accomplished football player, Ballon d'Or candidate, one of the greatest midfielders of his generation, one of the best managers of his generation because he won La Liga last season, or listen to your colleague Tosin and only just finish university like how many years ago? Like 2 years ago. It's an easy choice. There's no choice to make here. If Xavi says it's not good, someone that watches him every day, that sees him in training, that also sanctions his pay, looks at the boy and says, football is not for you. Tell me how you will be able to assess Ansu Fati properly better than Xavi would.
It's just a loan. Come on, guys. It's just a loan.
No.
Are we in class?
We are not
Are we in class? Why is this? Why is it?
We are not going to end on that note. We are not going to end on that note.
I mean, we have to end on that note, guys. We have to end on that note. Ansu Fati, done or not? Yes, he might be just 20 years of age and possibly might still have a long time to go. But of course, the opinions on the show today were different. What do you think? Is Fati done? Or do you think he's going to be having a great season at Brighton?